So my friend Mike runs a YouTube page called Tactical Considerations. I highly recommend you check it out. He's actually one that I recommend for my ladies that are newer to shooting, that they can go watch, because I get a little nervous sometimes for these ladies. There's a lot of bad information out there. He actually is not one of them. He actually gives you good information that's useful. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, show y'all something a little bit different, and kind of how YouTubers will describe things and talk about their guns and so on and so forth, and when they're describing them or reviewing them, as opposed to somebody like me, who isn't, I'm not just a fire instructor, but I work with women more often than not that have never touched a gun, had bad experiences with guns, and what have you. So I wanted today, so we're here today at Taurus, out here on the range at their booth, and thank you very much to Taurus for letting us be out here. And they have a new firearm called the GX4, and it was created for those of you that are familiar with the Sig Sauer 365, the Hellcat, the Springfield. It's kind of in that, what they call a compact or a smaller 9mm that carries a little bit larger round capacity. So when we're talking about those types of firearms for ladies, and like a lot of the students that I have, we want to talk about things that are going to help them be able to operate the firearm easily.
Alright guys, this is Mike from Tactical Considerations. We are going to talk about the Taurus GX4. This is the new one for their line. This is a micro compact 9mm. It gives you the option of going from 11 to 13 rounds depending on what state you live in. They've completely redesigned the trigger in here and other aspects of this. So we're going to get into this very quickly, talking about everything that we have here. So we have two interchangeable back straps, because we're going to go from magwell to muzzle like I always do. You got those big hands like me, you're going to use the larger back strap on here. It's going to give you a little bit more meat to grab onto. And of course, you've got those bigger extended mags, you're going to have enough for your pinky to get onto. Coming up from there, we're going to have a single-sided slide release if you want to work it from the slide, or you can come over the top and work it from your slide serrations, which are on the front and on the rear. It does slightly carry the profile of the G3, G3C up across the top. Has your same Glock style sights as you would see, and then of course on the top you do have a loaded chamber indicator, so you can see if you have a round in the chamber. Now, being that this is a smaller pistol, you're going to have to understand it's going to be a little bit more snappy than your average pistol. But coming up through here again on the grip, you're going to see we have plenty of texture. The Taurus has been known for in the G3, even back to the G2 line, with that sandpaper-like texture that's going to follow all the way around that grip. Coming forward, you're going to have a nice single, no undercut with a single groove on the front trigger guard here, and of course the new trigger that Taurus has designed in there, which is a little cleaner, a little bit more crisp, definitely feels a little bit better tactile-wise on the finger than the other G3, G3C that you may be used to, or going back into the G2 line. So continuing forward, going up onto the upper frame of the slider, you can see we do have some index marks right here on both sides. So either side, if you're a lefty or a righty in that firing grip, you have plenty of area to get hold of to get traction on this pistol. And again, if you want to work this thing either from the bottom or from the top, you do have those serrations across there. Depending on what size your hand is, one may work better for you over the other. Now, out on the range, like I said, it's a little bit snappy compared to other things that are larger like the G3 line, but you should be expecting that from a micro compact pistol. And that's all I have for you guys today. There.
So the slide racks back really easy. The little slide release button on the side is easy to manipulate. This is actually a really nice gun to manipulate. I know a lot of ladies will tend to struggle getting that down, and that's a hard thing for them. And so that makes that a little bit easier for them. Easy to rack back. You can actually pull it instead of having to push into the firearm to be able to rack it back. So for those that are having strength issues with your hands, it's going to be easy to be able to do that. For those of you that find that you struggle racking back your slide and locking your slide back, this being easier to rack back is going to make that much easier for you. The texture here on this grip is nice enough that if your hand gets sweaty, you're not going to feel like you're going to lose grip on your gun. The other thing too is that the grip this firearm comes with multiple sizes of, called a back strap. The back here that you can change and adjust the size of the gun for your hand, and that's a really nice feature for ladies in particular, so that they can adjust it and customize it for their hand. I know a lot of the ladies that I work with, they tend to really struggle with being able to reach everything on the firearm without having to slide their hand, and everything is in a really user-friendly spot. I have an average size hand, so you can see, and this has the bigger backstrap on it right now. So I think that if you move that backstrap in, you definitely would have an easy time to be able to hold it. So more importantly than anything, for the size of this firearm, for the ladies that like to conceal and wear clothes that are a little bit more fitted, this is going to be a super easy firearm for you to conceal with, but it's going to have a larger mag capacity. And from what I understand, you can actually go onto their website and purchase up to 13 round mags for this, which for those ladies that are out there, sometimes what you're wearing is hard enough to facilitate a firearm, let alone extra magazines. So this is going to be a nice gun. You can put that extra mag in there. It's still going to be easy for you to carry. The size of this is going to make it easy for you to thigh carry, if you want to thigh carry, without it being too bulky. Inside thigh carry, it might be a little big for inside thigh carry, I think maybe. But then again, that's up to the individual. So I'm looking forward to shooting this. I'm looking forward to checking this out. And I feel like this is a really good fit for females that are new shooters, that are scared of guns. That this would be a really nice option for ladies that are just learning how to shoot. If you're a little intimidated by shooting, if you've ever picked up your husband's gun and tried to rack it and you get frustrated, you get overwhelmed, I think this is absolutely a nice option for you, and I'm looking forward to working with women with this firearm. So thank you.